Welcome to Miami. Alright, we're at Miami. Some highlights of what we'll see today as we go vibe flying around the Miami region looking for the F1 Miami racetrack. G'day everyone, Z21 here. You can call me Z. Let's try another takeoff from the terminal here at Miami International Airport. We are still in the Cessna 152 and it's been 5 weeks since we had an F1 race and I'm out of touch with this plane again already. But we'll give it another try. You can see the beautiful scenery here at the airport. It is 7:30 a.m. Miami time. I've requested a pushback here, and again I'm at a gate that I don't think is suitable for a small plane. Lots of passenger jets around, and it looks like the pushback is for those jets rather than a small Cessna. We are not using the waypoint markers this time. I'm just going to try and wing it, find my way to the appropriate takeoff runway. The clouds are amazing in this game. So fun to see the differences of light between the clouds and also those dark clouds hanging over right there. You'll notice in this video today the glitches remain on the PlayStation 5 Pro or the PlayStation 5 version of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'm playing on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Already I've forgotten the controls. And we'll fast forward a little bit just to get going. Trying to follow one of the yellow lines, as I guess that's the way to approach. Looking for the runway, and then suddenly a passenger jet appears. I didn't know what to do again, but it disappears as you try to go through. And when I saw this jet in front, I decided to follow. Nice to see a bit more traffic around. I think since the PlayStation update of PSSR 2, a little bit more activity on screen. I still have to learn the appropriate speed on the runway. On the what do you call this area? Just the tarmac, I guess. It feels difficult to control an exact speed. And we have a bit of a queue here as we go down. And this particular plane is going to turn right here. and I realized, oh, I just have to stop. And that's what I find when you are trying to use the controls. You stop, you put on the brakes, and then it's a little bit difficult to get going again. I realize if you're in this small plane with a jet so close behind you, it'll be quite a daunting view. So I just sped up and then got out of hand here, trying to get control again. Across all of the grass. Crashed the plane a couple times there, but found a runway. And about to take off from Miami International Airport in search of the F1 track. Look at the sunrise behind the clouds there. So the airport is a little bit to the west of downtown Miami, and so we're flying to the east towards the ocean. Let's see how we do with this takeoff. Okay, not too bad. It's quite fun watching back the video after this vibe flying session. As I was thinking about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and in Miami, which you can see the skyline in the distance, this is going to be the setting of Grand Theft Auto 6. I thought it might be fun to do some role-playing in advance of the game being released later this year. So cool. If they have some flying in Grand Theft Auto 6, it's going to be a fun game. But just looking at the scenery here, fast forwarding a little bit, really soaking up the region here of Miami. So fun to just see what's around. From high up, it just looks so realistic. It's satellite imagery. Just look at that. Awesome. Heading into golden hour. The lighting looks really cool. So just about a 10-minute flight from the airport to downtown. Looks like a beautiful city to visit. Miami. The one thing that stood out straight away for me is where the Miami Heat play. Used to be called American Airlines Arena. Now I think it's called Cassia Center. Nice visual right near the water there. A beautiful shoreline along the water there. And what I thought I'd do with this flight was to fly down to the southernmost area. I think it's called Biscayne Bay. So fly towards there and then back up the coast. And here we saw a freighter just sitting there up against the, let me look what it's called here. Is it the Rickenbacker causeway? It's just sitting there. That's quite funny. So the freighter ships, they are all in the game live basically. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the actual location of that ship at the moment. Look at the scenery there, it just looks so amazing. So we get down to the southern end of this island. Nice lagoon that separates the mainland and the barrier islands. And just at the corner, when I was looking at the maps earlier, there is a lighthouse right down on the southern tip. The Cape Florida lighthouse. I guess that's it. It's a bit smaller than what I thought it would be. Look at the sunrise there, shining off the water. Amazing view. So you can imagine owning a Cessna or any small plane and just going for a flight and enjoying the scenery like this. But now I can do that in the comfort of my own home. And yeah, almost the same sensation. So we turned the corner and started flying north. I thought I'd go back towards downtown and across the port. And so we came here just to the north of this island, and just noticed this causeway here suddenly glitches and is underwater. What's it called? The Bear Cut Bridge, I think it is. And we had the usual flying cars along this bridge. Very funny. And then back towards downtown. So interesting to see this scenery. I'm just trying to recall one of the movies I enjoyed as a youngster, Bad Boys. It was filmed in filmed in Miami, I believe, and just thinking about some of the roads they may have used in that movie. And across the port, noticing again the freighter ships are not really parked properly. Some of them on the land again. I'm curious to know if this is the same situation on the PC version of the game. I'm sure the graphics look amazing on the PC, but if the glitches are the same, you know, the realism is also the same. It's a little bit unusual to see that. But it doesn't really take away from the enjoyment of looking at the scenery. It looks funny. There, look at the cars are just bouncing off this ship. Oh, it's hilarious. And then I did see a cruise ship coming in here, and nice to see something moving in the water. I just thought I'd observe it a little bit closer. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the pilot of the cruise ship put everyone in danger. And just decided to go straight through another ship there, one of the smaller ones. Oh, that's not a good sight. This is called the MacArthur Causeway. And we have a major incident right there. Alright, and now heading out to the ocean to continue our journey north up the coast. Quite a beautiful morning there, but it's just started raining heavily right where I am here in Australia right now. But we can imagine we're enjoying the Miami weather right now instead. And so this is South Beach. I think if you're in America and you're exploring a place to live, Miami looks like quite a lovely, warm, inviting location to be. Beautiful beaches, kilometers and kilometers. And just sit back and enjoy. When you're exploring images of Miami, I think this is the area that you'd most likely see online. The high rises along the shores of the ocean next to the beach. You can see before, as we were just starting out, and even there, the rows of sunbeds and umbrellas. I recall there were places around there you can drive on the beach, but I don't know if that's in Miami. I guess it'd be a little bit more north along the Florida coast. Look at that. Imagine enjoying a day, the morning there on any given day if you lived in Miami, or even holidaying. Beautiful. So we're flying quite far north, as I was trying to remember where the Miami F1 track is located. But just looking at the skyline along the beach, it was just a fun place to explore a little bit further. Seeing the waterways a little bit inside from the ocean. It actually reminds me a lot of the Gold Coast here in Australia. Very similar appearance. See the clouds reflecting off the water. Yeah, imagine sitting in Cessna looking out straight ahead. Wow. So there has been an update of this game in the past week. For that. And now you can play the game with the PS VR2 headset. Playing this game in VR on the PlayStation. I'm unsure how the graphics will look in this scenario, but I'm sure the immersion will be amazing. I lost a little bit of control here as I was swiveling around. Yeah, definitely. If I can find the funds, I'd like to give the VR headset a go. So a little bit more and then we're going to head inland. A little bit of an anti-clockwise circle from our departure airport. Interestingly, you can see there are different locations where they have high rises. So different strips, maybe if they call them suburbs, I don't know, where they have a bunch of high rises. Really interesting layout. I'm guessing the majority are apartments versus hotels. Probably a lot of Airbnbs now. So nice. I wasn't really too focused on my altitude and really following any flight rules on this one. Just wanted to enjoy playing around, vibe, flying. Eventually I will learn how to play or fly somewhat more officially through this game. Definitely I recommend, if you like flying, it's worth picking up just to enjoy the scenery, and I feel like I'm learning about the geography of many places. So even though I've never been there, I feel like I know the place. And so we're turning left here, and this is around the Golden Isles area. We start heading west. And this is where I started searching for the stadium. So if you are familiar with Formula One, you'll know that the Miami Grand Prix is set around a stadium, football stadium, where the Miami Dolphins NFL team play. And so I spotted it in the distance, and the first thing I noticed, the color is red. Again, if you have been watching the last couple of years, you'll know that the stadium is white. And then I realized there is actually no track. So this must be older satellite imagery. The track is missing. But you can definitely see the shape of the land there, and you know that's where the track is. The back straight that goes along that little stream. I was surprised to find that the satellite imagery is dated. This is the Hard Rock Stadium, and it's a street circuit that goes around the stadium here, and just for fun I pretended I would fly around the circuit as I usually do. It's a around 5.5 kilometer track with 19 turns. And here we go down the main straight, and then you turn right at corners 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. And then back on the other side of the stadium before it has to loop around. The track is really flowing, not many sharp corners, almost like waves, ripples of water. Here going through very soft curves all the way to where the overpass is of a freeway. And then this is probably the most awkward part of the track, where there is a very sharp chicane and then a left turn underneath the freeway onto a back straight. It's all the way down past the stadium. And then another left. A lot of overtakes are done there. And then back around to the main straight across the finish line. And then through the stadium, where they look like they're having some activity there right now. Wow. Interesting. So we know, we have a reference now that the satellite imagery is a little bit older. I wonder if they will update that over time. I recall I had one quick look back towards the stadium as we fly south again. We're going to land at a different airport. So the landing arrival airport is called, I don't know if I can pronounce it correctly, Opa-Locka Executive Airport. Apparently this is the airport on the left, not too far from the stadium. Apparently this is where a lot of drivers, team principals, the billionaires land their private jets into. It must be a busy airport during the Grand Prix weekend, which is actually this weekend. We have a sprint race on Saturday and a fun Grand Prix on Sunday. Looking forward to it. So here we are. I slowed down quite a lot here. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. Almost gliding in. I'll have to learn that procedure. Think what is the right way to control. It's fun. It's so fun though, playing this game. So again, just trying to get used to using the PlayStation controller. And every time I get to the landing, just trying to hold it up a little bit. Hold the nose up. Oh, it was a little bit harsh, that landing. Not so good, but we made it, at least. So you can see, much a quieter airport here. Imagining most of the teams, of course, have arrived earlier in the week. Anyone with their own jets would have come in earlier as well. And I actually noticed we have a few jets already here. Just trying to find my way in. Not really sure where the terminal is to park, but I see the planes over there. I wonder, one of the F1 drivers, some of the F1 drivers. Team principal could be here. It's been fun. It's been fun touring Miami on this vibe flight. Checking out the scenery. Here we go. Let's park next to this one. Supposed to be some live data of planes that are around. I wonder. So a quick look around, just a standard jet, private jet, a couple of them. So thank you for hanging out, enjoying this vibe flight of Miami and the Miami Grand Prix circuit that wasn't actually there. Hopefully they update. In any case, hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time.